It was a dark and stormy night, the kind of night where the wind howled and the rain lashed against the windows like tiny sharp knives. It was the kind of night that makes you feel like anything could happen. And anything did happen that night. The doorbell rang. It was a shrill noise that cut through the storm like a gunshot. Olivia hesitated for a moment before getting up to answer the door. She wasn't expecting anyone, and she didn't like the idea of opening the door to a stranger on a night like this, but she knew it was probably just the neighbor who sometimes came over to borrow sugar or milk. She opened the door, and there he was. Standing on her doorstep dripping wet was a man she had never seen before. He was tall and lanky, with a beard that seemed to be made of vines. He looked like he belonged in a horror movie. "Can I help you?" Olivia asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "Can I come in?" the man said, his voice deep and gravelly. Olivia hesitated for a moment before nodding and stepping aside. She watched as the man walked past her and into her living room. He sat down on her couch, his wet clothes making a squishing noise. "Do you have a towel?" he asked. Olivia nodded and went to get him a towel from the bathroom. As she handed it to him, she noticed that he was holding a small, intricately carved box in his hand. It looked old and worn, like it had been passed down through generations. Olivia couldn't help but feel a sense of unease as she watched him open the box. Inside was a small silver key. "What's that for?" she asked, pointing at the key. The man just looked at her with a solemn expression. "It unlocks doors," he said before placing the key back in the box and closing it. Olivia didn't know what to say. The man was clearly strange, and his presence in her home was making her feel uneasy, but she didn't want to be rude, so she offered him some tea. As they sat in silence, drinking their tea, Olivia couldn't help but notice that the man's eyes never seemed to leave the box. It was like he was afraid someone would take it from him. Suddenly there was a loud crash from upstairs. Olivia jumped up, knocking over her teacup, and ran up the stairs to investigate. The man stayed behind, his eyes fixed on the box. Olivia found that a window in her bedroom was shattered, and the room was in disarray. She quickly realized that someone had broken into her house and was still inside. She ran downstairs to get the man, but as she entered the living room, she froze. The man was gone, and so was the small silver key. Olivia didn't know what to do, but she knew she had to find the intruder. With her heart pounding, Olivia went back upstairs, armed only with a broomstick. She cautiously searched every room but found nothing. As she made her way back downstairs, she heard a faint ticking sound coming from the living room. Olivia cautiously peeked into the room and saw the small, intricately carved box on her coffee table with the silver key inserted in the lock. She approached the box slowly and carefully, her heart pounding with fear and anticipation. Without warning, the box sprang open, revealing a small, ticking time bomb. Olivia had only seconds to act. With all her strength, she picked up the box and flung it out of that nearest window. It exploded in midair, sending shards of wood and metal raining down onto the street below. Olivia fell to the ground, her body shaking with adrenaline and fear. She had narrowly escaped death, and the strange man with the box and the key had disappeared into the stormy night. From that night on, Olivia never opened the door to strangers again, especially not on dark and stormy nights. She learned that anything could happen, and that sometimes the scariest things in life are the ones that seem the most innocent.